Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Football Manager 2018 with Zebu Nation. And this is Wings of Glory with LAFC in the MLS. And today, for you, we have the preseason spectacular, which is obviously different than our last episode, which was the off-season spectacular. Completely different because the off-season takes place in January. The preseason starts in February. So obviously, clear line of demarcation right there. And the preseason spectacular starts, of course, with transfers. What have we done? What has become of LAFC? We've gone a little overboard, at least for me, in terms of the transfer budget. Made a lot of moves, brought in maybe one too many guys. But you know what? It's okay because we got some plans. This is all just making the team better, and that's what the preseason is all about. So our last guy that we looked at in the offseason was George Negrete, who we brought up from our academy. And since then, since February, we went out and got a free transfer, Colin Fernandez. This guy, 21 years old. I believe he was a guy who was available in the super draft and nobody picked him up. So we picked him up on a free, and he's, he is what he is. He's an inside forward, which is why we wanted him. At the end of last episode, I mentioned we needed inside forwards and we needed strikers. And that's pretty much what we went and got this offseason. Maybe a little too many. But anyway, we started with this guy because he was available on a free, decent, young MLS player, determined, teamwork, whatever. He's just a bench guy we got for free, and that's fine. Then we started dipping into the transfer budget, and for a lot of people around there, this would be a pretty modest transfer because we had about $12 million to spend, and I think overall spent around $3 million. So it's not like, oh my God, he went crazy. But for me, this is like splurging. Went out and got another young reserve player, Walter Guimaraes, 21-year-old Brazilian central defender. He's big, strong dude who can play central defense, and that's about it. This is one of those sort of specialty players that you can find in for the MLS to do a pretty good job in MLS and a lot of other lower leagues around the world. I think if you get a guy like this, he would be an absolutely fine bench player. He can't do anything else for you. He can't come in and play left back or right back or anything. But if you need just a towering central defender, you can pick up a guy like Walter Guimaraes. Pretty quick, pretty easy. We got him for $20,000, so no problem there. Then we started the big bucks and the better players. Omar Tejeda. Look at this guy, Mexican, 29 years old, a little older than I like. But again, I was in that sort of bargain hunting, frenetic preseason thing that you do where you got a position on your mind and you're like, I need an inside forward. I need an inside forward. Found this guy available for how much? How much? 850,000. So not too expensive. But look at this guy. He's pretty good crossing, dribbling, finishing, first touch. Got a lot of skills, obviously 29 years old. So his physicals are diminishing a little bit. He's got pretty good mental attributes all up and down the board. This guy is a pretty good MLS player. 3.5 stars, as you can see. 7 pros, 2 cons. So here's a guy, some of the things you have to look at now is, will this guy fit with your team and fit into your dynamics and stuff like that? So he's a Mexican player to go along with our other Mexican internationals that we've signed. So hopefully this guy will be able to fit in our squad dynamics. It says right here, Tejeda seems to fit in fairly well with the rest of the squad. So that's something you got to think about this year that maybe you didn't have to think about much last year. As you can see, he played in Lobos last season as they got promoted to the first division. So here's a guy who's used to playing at the MLS level and doing, pretty well. Playing a lot of games anyway, 30 games or more for the last few seasons. Not scoring a ton of goals, but hopefully we can change that and Omar can do better for us. Then we picked up what we really, really needed was a top flight striker. We picked up Rodrigao, sorry, in Brazil. They pronounce R's as H's. I don't know if you know this, but if you watch mixed martial arts and you see a lot of Brazilian fighters, you kind of learn how Portuguese sound, at least the Brazilian kind of Portuguese sounds, and they pronounce their R's as H's, so this is Hadragao. Uh, from SAN for 1.9 million bucks, and he is just a striker, target man, advanced forward kind of guy we really needed. 24 years old, so he's pretty good, pretty young. He's not going to get any better, but he's already a 4-star guy. 13 finishing is on the margin. That's probably the lowest I'll go for a striker, but he had so much abilities in the other areas that I figured that this guy would be a pretty good top line striker for us. Got a lot of good mental abilities, off the ball, teamwork, work rate. He's a big, strong dude up there. He's got jumping reach and heading, so he can score those headers for us as a target man. The one problem with Hadragao is I had to use a designated player slot on this guy, and I didn't want to do that. But again, when you're in that buying, purchasing mood, you're just like, what do I got to do to get this deal done? And that's what I did. His abilities look pretty good. He can be a star player for MLS. He's currently close to his full potential, so that's good. He could be successfully retrained as a left winger, so if we find another superb striker out there, we could move this guy around. But, for now, he's going to be our lead striker. He's going to be up top of our formation. And then finally, a guy that we didn't need. Well, he was so inexpensive that I figured, you know what, we got to just bring this guy in and just add some more depth to us. We got Michael Covea from Olimpio for 230,000 bucks. This guy, of course, is a left winger. He can play striker a little bit. He can play, advanced midfielder a little bit. 24 years old, 3-star player. We're only paying him 190,000, which is, on the margin of being an expensive player, but it's not too bad. And he's 3 stars. He could move up to 3.5-star potential. His physicals are okay. A lot of 12s going on over there. But again, he's got really good mentals, really good technicals, including 15 finishing. So when I was looking at this guy and saying, man, we need a finisher, we need somebody who can really score, I just couldn't pass him up. So we're going to have to retrain this guy to make sure that he's more of a striker than a winger, because we got guys who can play on the wing. Especially now, after this whole splurge where we went out and bought like a bunch of left wingers. Let's take a look at his development. We are going to train this guy to be... let's see. He doesn't really have the acceleration to be a poacher. How's his heading? Heading 8. Not great. 4... what do we do? Deep lying forward? I guess. Deep lying forward. Yeah, he's got the dribbling, finishing, first touch, passing, balance. Yeah. He's got all kinds of deep lying forward skills. So we shall train him up to be a deep lying forward. Now, because of all these moves we've made, including bringing in a designated player, I've had to kind of change the formation a little bit. We're going to look at tactics real quick. Had to bring in the old-fashioned 4-2-3-1. And this is the only formation that puts all of those new guys up here into our starting lineup. So we've got Tejeda on the left as an inside forward. That allows us to move Villalba over to his more natural position of right winger. Hadragao up top as the target man, and then behind him we've got Vela. So maybe we can kind of, get Vela in that space in the middle, give him the ball even more than we had planned. And maybe he can make some plays as well as score some goals. So this is kind of the formation we're going to be forced into, because we have to have Hadragao, Vela, and Villalba on the floor at the same time, on the pitch at the same time. I think in basketball, in basketball you always have like the 3 men that are the triumvirate, the triangle of your team. You want to have 3 superstars on the basketball court. But that's 3 out of 5. This is 3 out of 11. So it's a little different and a little less important than it is in basketball. But still, we now have that trio up top. And if we need to, we can, stick Vela on the right side or the left side. He can go just about anywhere. And, you know, play some of our other formations. We can even move Vela up top as a striker. We could go with the diamond formation if Villalba goes out or something like that, needs a rest. So these guys will be a little bit flexible for us, but for now, this is kind of the formation we have to run if we want to put all of our good players on the field at the same time, which I think we're going to want to do. All right, so now let's go run down the checklist real quick. We'll start with the academy. Academy's looking pretty good. Even though we've called up several members of the academy, we got some pretty good guys left in the bank here. We got, Brett Mendez, central defender, Aaron Venegas, who's a defensive midfielder/midfielder. A lot of potential there, 4-star potential. We got some other guys with 3.5-star potential. Even these 3-star potential guys, these are guys we can call up, when they're 18 years old and just see if they improve. Because, a 3-star player is good enough to play in MLS. So these guys, we got a lot of guys with the capability to play MLS soccer right now in our academy. So we're going to keep calling these guys up and keep trying to use them. All right, financially, made some moves financially. As you can see, the old budget is down to $8.9 million, which is still plenty of budget for MLS. No problem there. Payroll is it's a little high, $11 million. Oh boy, we're gonna have to fit that under the salary cap somehow. We'll look at our registration probably next episode, not this episode. But for now, it's a little on the high end, even though we've got a $28 million payroll. So we could have gone out and got even bigger stars with bigger paychecks if we needed that. But, I'm a guy who's a little conservative, so, we'll keep that money in the bank for now. Scouting budget, $452,000. I'm still a little unsure about how this scouting budget stuff works. I seem to run out of money every single season for my scouting budget. So I don't exactly know what I'm doing wrong other than clicking on emails and saying scout that guy. Maybe I spend too much money scouting players I don't need. I don't know, but we'll figure that out. Anyway, we go to the board. Board is still looking stable here at 51%. No problems there. How is their confidence looking? Transfers, they are definitely enjoying our transfers here. After surveying supporter opinion, supporter spokesperson Michael Lockett feels the fans are pleased with the business you're doing in the transfer market, so that's good. Locker room atmosphere is also good. The board is content. There's an element of control over the players in the locker room. All right. Matches, competition. So we're looking pretty solid so far in terms of the board. Club-wise, not much has changed. 3 stars. We're still rich. We're still the head coach, thankfully. Yeah, all right. That's good. Transfers we looked at. Scouting. I mean, these are the emails that keep, pulling me in and making me scout. Go, ooh, look at this guy, scout. Ooh, look at this guy, scout. Ooh, look at this guy, scout. I got to stop doing that. Our scouting budget here, we don't want to adjust that just yet. Scouting responsibility, assignments. Okay, so we got the, this is what I was looking for. The senior package in North America and the youth package in North America. We should be able to afford that. Even though we have a lot of regional knowledge here in South America, because we've been signing a lot of South American players, obviously, all that regional knowledge is coming from scouts going down there themselves and maybe not this youth package stuff. So I don't really understand yet at this point, what does this youth package and senior package stuff actually do for us? It still seems like you get the best results by sending your scouts down there individually and saying, hey, you scout Brazil, you scout Argentina, you scout Chile or whatever. That still seems to get the best results. But I don't know. I'm not paying enough attention to what the scouts are bringing back in terms of the packages, especially when it comes to the youth package. I still find myself Like I said, individually scouting people. Anyway, we'll get to that. Competitions, obviously, we haven't started any of our competitions yet because it is the preseason schedule. We've had a lot of things going on since our last few games. Our last match was not a great match. Now we've been sort of up and down in the preseason, and pretty much starters playing well, backups playing poorly. Other than this game against San Jose, our backups won 2-0, which was kind of a surprise because we played all of our backups to get ready for the LA Galaxy, who are obviously going to be our number one rival in MLS. They're in the same conference as us. They're in the same city as us. We're breathing the same air as these dudes. We got to beat them and make our supporters happy. Got a 1-1 draw against them in the preseason. I was a little surprised that the fan turnout. The fan turnout was low. And I was not happy about that because we were playing the Galaxy, but it is a preseason match, so maybe this sort of rivalry stuff doesn't kick in. Or maybe I don't have as big a rivalry with these guys as I thought. Then we had a 1-0 victory over Orange County. Beating Orange County, who is our affiliate club, 1-0, is not the greatest result in the world. Then we had a 2-3 loss to Miami. It's a team that's trying to work its way up into MLS, a team that's trying to put together a bid to be an expansion club in the next couple of seasons. So I thought it'd be a good test, expansion club versus potential expansion club. We lost 2-3 with our substitutes, but there's a goal in here I got to show you. It is like one of the weirdest goals I've ever seen. I didn't see anything like this in the beta. I didn't see many goals like this in FM17 either. It's just so weird. Let's take a look here. And it's our backup striker, now our third team striker. This is not it. This is Miami's first goal. This is sort of something I'm noticing a trend here of the second ball in from the corners is starting to score on us this preseason. All right, so here's our goal. It's going to be a counterattack here. They just boot the ball downfield, intercepted by our defense, sends it in. Look at the slide kick, and the goalkeeper is like, didn't even see the ball. Haven't seen that all beta, so that was pretty amazing. And then again here, another set piece play. Second ball in, that's a deflection goal. Not much we could do about that. But yeah, and then finally, here's their third goal. Again, second ball from the corner. Stefanio sends it to Romero, and then just shoots it in. And then we finally get, a comeback goal here. Again, our striker, who I wasn't really counting on to score a lot this season, but look at that run. Gets behind the defense, and then just a nice left-footed shot off the post. Jay Smith, OTI, with the goal. Yeah, so that was our loss coming into this match. And again, we played all of our backups getting ready for FLA, the big Brazilian side from Rio de Janeiro. Look at this team. They are pretty good. 4-star continental reputation. So they're a bigger team than we are. I was pretty happy to be able to bring these guys in to play at our brand new stadium, which we're going to look at shortly. But they've got facilities of their own, excellent training, good youth facilities. They play in a big stadium, small stadium, 4,000. I thought it was 40,000 the first time I looked at it, so I take that back. History-wise, they got all the hardware you could want. 6 championships of the first division. So this is a team that, we should be the underdog against. We haven't scouted them very well. We don't know their players very well, but they got players like Richard Ortiz, 30-year-old Paraguayan. I mean, I'd take the lowest stats of these any day of the week, and this guy would be pretty good. So we're going to possibly struggle against these guys, but we have our new lineup. We've got our new stars that we brought in. So we're going to get to that match pretty soon here. Just a couple of hours before the match, we're going to do our pre-match tactical briefing, and I'm still struggling with this tactical briefing thing. I'm still, not quite sure what positives it gives us other than we do a team talk and say, hey, we're going to try a new formation here. The majority of the squad disagree with this tactical approach. The approach feels too attacking for them. Sorry, what can I say? Should we try control? Flexible? Yeah, I guess we'll try control. Team talk again. Mentality control. How about that? We'll go with the control as it suits us being the underdog. Very little reaction from the squad. Okay, we'll turn it over to the assistant, see if he can turn it around. Okay, he turned it around. He brought him back, I guess. I don't know. We're gonna end the meeting. Oh, that brings me to dynamics. I wanted to look at the dynamics of this squad real quick because it's very interesting. Obviously, we got poor match cohesion because it's preseason and we're playing a lot of our youngsters and stuff like that. Locker room atmosphere is average. That's good. We currently have no unhappy players. We currently have 4 players at the club, including 4 first team who are considered to be very happy. So that's good. In terms of negatives, many haven't formed meaningful relationships at the club yet, so we're still working on that. Many contrasting personalities throughout the club. That'll iron itself out, I think. Leadership support is average right now. You got a strong influence over a number of players. That's good. Let's take a look at the old hierarchy. We still have Vela up top and nobody underneath him. And then a bunch of sort of semi-influential players. But here we go. We've got 4 players supporting us. That's good. Alvarez, who is 27-year-old American. 2-star guy. All right, so that's fine to have a veteran in your corner, I guess. And we got Martinez, who's our number 1 draft pick. That's good. Pacheco supports us. That's good. Another young player supporting us. And a Tim supports us, I guess. Those players have been with us the longest. Alvarez, a Tim, and Pacheco. So maybe that's why they support us. And Martinez was our number 1 draft pick. So you always kind of form a little bond with your top draft pick, I suppose. But the real problem is we have one player who opposes you. And that would be Carlos Vela, our superstar. I get the feeling watching some other people's streams that the superstar always opposes you until you win them over. Like when they come into your team at first, they're trying to like be the big man on campus maybe. I don't know what that's all about, but I've seen several streams or several video series where coaches are being opposed by their star player. And it just seems like that sort of dynamic exists. I don't know. But our problem still is we don't have a lot of influential players. So I think what I want to do is I want to set our captains to give us some influential players. And it's not going to be Vela. Like, no way. The problem is here, a lot of our best players are down here in terms of leadership. Only 10. You know, Villalba, leadership 7. Hadrigal, leadership 7. So, you know, not good. Those are not leadership quality dudes. So we're looking for starters who might support us, but who are also, you know, kind of veterans. Because right now our youngest players are our best leaders. Jonathan Smith, the guy you just saw score those weird goals, 14 leadership, 16 teamwork. He's probably our best leader. He's not really one of our better players. He's a guy who's going to struggle for playing time. Same with Thacker, a 17-year-old. Fernandez, who's a reserve player. So we got to look at, I think, Jared Watts to be our captain. 12 leadership, 14 teamwork. He's going to be a starter for us on defense. So that's good. Yes. Start that. And then I think another guy definitely is going to be Scott Caldwell, also 26 years old. Also an MLS veteran type guy. A guy who's going to be our starting defensive midfielder for at least a year or 2. So I think we'll go with those guys. It's 2 Americans. I don't know if that makes a huge difference in terms of all of these guys who are, you know, we got a lot of international flavor, international players on this team. Now we need some reserve captains here. Okogu is pretty good. He's a guy who's going to play. We'll put Jonathan Smith up there. So we'll have those 2 guys be our reserves because Smith will come in at some points. There's no question about that. And he's 21 years old. We'll let him build his leadership ability. All right, so hopefully, I don't think that's going to change anything right away in terms of our dynamics, but maybe after a game or two and leading into the regular season, maybe it'll make a difference in our dynamics that way. All right, so let's get to this friendly against the big Brazilian team. We're going to take a look at Bank of America Stadium as well with our first home game here. Let's see. Hennico Clark on loan. That's fine. Oh yeah, our medical center. We haven't looked at our medical center yet. Everybody is capable of playing, so I guess that's good. Now this is how I pick my team. Before we go into the game, I look at this list and see who's got injury risks. Dave Romney, unfortunately, has an injury risk. 24-year-old left defender. We might want to switch this guy out for somebody just because he's got the high risk of injury. Although, naturally he has a below average injury susceptibility, but right now, he's got a high risk, so why, take the risk? Same thing here with Watts and Hagelin. Their injury risk is just increased, not necessarily high, but both of them have an above average chance of injury due to recent injuries. So we might want to leave Watts and Hagelin out as well. So continue to the match preview of our friendly here, team selection. Got our matte black home jerseys. I kind of like these home jerseys. They remind me of like the Nike Pro Combat uniforms. I don't know if you're familiar with college football at all, but Nike Pro Combat is a big brand in college football, and they always bring out these matte black uniforms for teams to wear. They've got a fairly classic jersey here, the old blue and red, nice shield as their logo, very classic going on there. And we didn't really look at the history per se of this team, FLA. Check out the club background. Founded in 1895, so they've been around for a long time. Brazilian National First Division. Last season saw them qualify for the Copa Sudamerica. So that's their version of the Champions League down there, so that's good. The club play their home matches. Yeah, we looked at their stadium. Excellent training facilities. We looked at that. They're affectionately known as Mengão or Menjao. I think they pronounce it with a soft G down there in Brazil, so Menjao. And retains a fierce rivalry with VDG, BOT, and FLU. I want to know what these acronyms stand for. I can never find out what these Brazilian acronyms stand for. I'm going to have to Google this and look it up. Maybe I could. I mean, I don't really want to do that right now in the middle of a video. I almost did it, but I'm not going to do it. Anyway, having enjoyed their greatest spell of success during the 80s, undoubtedly one of the most successful clubs in Brazil, posting a proud total of 50 competitions won, which you can see up here. They won the state championship 33 times. So that accounts for most of their championships. But 6 first division titles is nothing to sneeze at. So they've got a lot of hardware over here. And it should be a difficult match. So here's our team selection. Look at the medical center now. So the guys we're thinking about leaving out: Rodney, Watts, Hagland, Duncan. I don't think we have to worry about Duncan or Rocklets. Williams, he's got very low chance, so, if he's playing, that's fine. Hagelin, Watts, Romney are who we want to leave out. Are any of those guys playing? Watts is playing. He's our new captain also, right? Yeah, we kind of don't want to leave him out. Hagelin is already out because he did have that injury. Romney is also playing at fullback. There's Williams, who's also a little low, so we could put in Duncan. Are all of our fullbacks injured is the question. Romney, Williams, Duncan, Chavez. All of our fullbacks have potential to be injured, so I guess we'll just go with them. We're going to go. This is, we still got a couple of weeks until the regular season starts, and this is an important preseason game. It's a test to see if we can play with a Brazilian side. That would be a huge, huge result for us. Match fitness-wise, we're looking pretty good. We got a Lash playing at our central defense right now. I moved him down just to have a little bit more of a mobile player back there on defense. He's not looking real hot though. Could bring our new Brazilian Guimaraes up there. I think we'll stick with this though. You know, I had this plan going in and everything was going to be fine because Hagelин's injured. Rocklitz is also a little banged up, but he's got more match fitness. I don't want to hem and haw over this too much. We're just going to submit this team and live with the consequences. Sometimes you got to do that when you look at your injury results. And here is the new Bank of America Stadium. Pretty cool. Not as many fans as I had hoped, but here is the lineup. Stefan in goal, of course. Romney, Watts, Alash, Delgado. We just hemmed and hawed over these guys, but we're keeping them in. Caldwell and Martinez, our #1 draft pick in the midfield. Then, of course, the guys we talked about earlier, Tejada, Vela, Villalba, and Hadrigao at the strikers. They've got Eric up top. Take a look at this guy, finishing 9-13. All right, so this guy doesn't look like a top prospect. He looks like he's one of their just reserve players. So I think, maybe they're going with a bit of a reserve team here. A lot of guys with no faces, that's for sure. Thiago Ennis, 21 years old. All right, so they're playing a reserve squad against us. This could be good. Let's go to the dressing room. Kick it off, team talk. Go out there and show me what you got. All right, nobody cares about that. Assistant. All right, end the pep talk. Let's go. Kickoff. Decent crowd, but not a great crowd. And here is our new stadium. These are our stand-up sections here in the corner, so that should be cool. The places where the 3252 are going to hang out. That's the new supporters union for LAFC. Here's Villalba past the man down the near sideline. Sends the cross to the goalkeeper, Hugo Souza. But yeah, I've been seeing this stadium. It's been fine for our preseason. No scaffolding or construction sites or anything like that. So the stadium is completed, and it looks pretty good. It looks a little bit like the renderings. At least, if somebody described the renderings to you, then I think you could come up with this stadium in your mind, or at least by using these stock assets. Here's cross. Martinez has it, drops it back to Caldwell, resets the offense. Martinez again out wide to Delgado. Delgado sends it across. Tejada hits the post. That could have been our first goal of the match. That was pretty good. We are pressing these guys, though. Our team was not confident enough. We need these guys to be more confident. We're better than we think we are, especially when they're playing a rotated side. But anyway, if you looked at the renderings online of the stadium and then you described those renderings to somebody, I think they could come up with this stadium here. So we have sort of a 3/4 closed bowl. We have some stand-up seats on one end or the other, either the north or south end, I forget which. We have, some big television monitors, especially in one corner above the stands. We have a television monitor, and that's depicted here. Ooh, here's Eric, the guy we looked at. Stefan with a nice stop. So we do have one open corner in the stadium, which they have here. But the thing they don't have is the bar. That's supposed to be a big feature of this match, of this stadium, is the bar and the luxury patio that it's got above it and all this kind of stuff. But those kind of things aren't really in the renderings. So I guess if Sports Interactive was actually looking at that and actually, putting some thought into the stadium, they couldn't really render those because we don't know what they're going to look like from the field level. I mean, we know what they're going to look like inside, and we know what they're going to look like looking out onto the field, but I haven't seen any renderings of what they look like when you're on the field looking out at them. So I assume they're going to be like on this side, and maybe that's what these windows here are meant to depict, is sort of the club level. But I don't know. Anyway, that's the stadium. How's the game going? 33 minutes down, and looks like FLA are sort of, parking the bus here. But now they're coming on the attack. Here's Ederson, sends it into the box. Watts heads it out. Rafinha tracks it down. Hopefully we don't get that second level attack that's been scoring against us. All right, that was fine. They're going to get a corner kick out of this. Near side corner. There's their supporters made the trip. Their supporters section is better than our supporters section. What's going on? Rafinha sends it in. Alash heads it out. Tejeda's trying to track it down. Hugo Mora saves it for FLA. Rafinha, offside? Yep, offside. Get out of here. All right, let's get a highlight, boys. 39 minutes. Just got 5 minutes left in the half. It's been a pretty uneventful game. Here we go. Tejeda with the free kick. Centers to Martinez. Looking to make a play out wide to Vela. Vela has it. Vela with the shot off the goalkeeper and out for a corner. So that's good. We have instituted my corner plays, but not for this formation. So they're just going to send it into anybody willy-nilly, and, it's terrible. So we're going to have to set up our corner plays for all of our various formations. Caldwell has it now. Gets it stolen by Ederson out of touch. But that'll be a throw-in for us with 3 minutes left. No highlight. All right, that's fine. So there's still some work to do in this offseason. We got to set up our corner plays. We got to get our guys more familiar with our lineups. We got to settle on a starting lineup and settle on a starting formation. This is the first time we've used this particular formation, so I think it's to be expected for our guys to be a little hesitant with it. Let's see, retain possession well in certain areas. That's good. Lost a lot of possession in the central areas. Struggled for possession in the opposition's half. Rafinha has lost possession more than any other player. That's good for them. So I've been looking at this analysis a little bit more, and I think this is what you're supposed to do at halftime. You come in here, you look at your analysis, right? Like you would if you were a real coach. You would look at what happened in the half, and then you would go into your talk. So here we go. Omar Tejeda has been error-prone today. We're not going to sub him out just yet. We should try to put more crosses. They always say this. Always say put more crosses. Now, we do have a big target man up top now, so maybe we can make that change. We're struggling to keep the ball, and we're not coming away with chances, so work the ball into the box. All right, we can do that. Look at, we've been really sporadic. Look at this heat map. It is just big, weird, I don't know, splotches everywhere. Of course, down the right-hand side, Villalba has made a couple of nice runs. And then on their side, they seem to be playing pretty defensive or maybe even counterattacking. A lot of work right around their goal. No, that's the opposite. This is their goal. So they've done a lot of work in our half, and I don't know that I'm happy about that. All right, so now we can go to the dressing room and talk to our dudes, talk to our guys, and say, this is why we go through preseason. All your hard work will pay off. Nobody cares about that. All right, let's take a look at tactics. We've got our control game, but let's dig in. Let's look a little nuanced. So this is what we've decided to do to work the ball. I guess we'll retain possession. We'll try to do a real possession type game. Maybe close down on all these youngsters. I mean, that might leave us open to the counterattack. It most certainly will leave us open to the counterattack. But, that's how I like to play. I like to press the other team a little bit. And we got to get used to that now and again. All right. Pep talk field. I wanted to look at. This is the board I wanted to look at. All right. So Alash is getting a little tired. We're going to have to sub him out at some point. Probably bring in our young Brazilian, Guimarães. So that might make our defense a little vulnerable when we do that. That'll probably be our first sub of the match. So, all right. Let's get on with it. Let's go. Let's start the second half. Not bad first half. You know, when you're playing a big team like this, you expect to struggle a little bit. Oh, I forgot to look and see if we were actually playing our target man as a target man. Yes. All right, that's good. You know, especially playing a new formation for the first time, we're going to struggle a little bit. They've got a lot of fouls. They have held a slightly more possession than us, but it's been pretty much 50-50. We've had more shots, more on target, so that's good. Attacking down the right wing, of course, Villalba is getting a lot of attention. Not much is happening. 55 minutes down and not a single highlight yet. Paulinho off. No, Eric off. Paulinho on. I thought they already had a Paulinho. Anyway, here's a throw into Villalba down that right-hand side again, looking to center it. There's Hadrigao. Just taps it over the crossbar for a goal kick. But we want to start seeing more stuff like that. We want to see our guys making plays. We don't have Pacheco in there in this lineup. He's our setup man that we talked about in the last episode. But that's all he is. You know, he is a guy who sends in crosses. He's a specialist, really. These other guys that we put up there are much better all-around players. So it's a question of, do we want all of these multi-talented players up there, or do we want some specialists up there? Because right now our multi-talented guys are looking at 6.3 ratings. You know, our three big stars here, well, Villalba, I guess, has a 6.5. But three of our four guys up front have 6.3 ratings, and Hadrigao is looking complacent, so that's no good. Hadrigo? Hadrigo sounds better than Hadrigao. Hadrigo. Because it's kind of like, if you were pronouncing this in English, you might pronounce this Rodrigo, right? So Hadrigo. Hadrigo. Anyway, we'll work on that. We'll look up that pronunciation maybe. How about that? Oh, geez, he's injured. All right. Substitutes. Hello, substitutes. J. Smith OTI, you're coming in. We don't need our newly minted designated player getting like a season-ending injury or something like that. So that's our first sub, and then we will also bring in Guimaraes in the defense. So these will be our first subs. There's 82 minutes gone already, so nothing is happening. We're going to make these changes, and then we're going to make some updates here. We're going to try to put on the attacking pressure, I think. So pause that. Let's go attack. Let's get up. Let's get in there, Grills boys. Let's be more expressive. How about that? Yeah, that looks good. All right, so let's see if we can yell those instructions. And here we go. Vela with the free kick. He does not get it on target. He's scored a couple already this preseason from the free kick. So hopefully he can do quite a bit of that this season. Tejeda has raised himself up to a 6.4. Romney on the left side is just a 6.3. Delgado a 7.0 rating. Now, we're not sending our fullbacks forward in this formation. We're banking on our four attacking players to do it themselves. Here's Antonio, Luis Antonio with a free kick. So it's been a game of free kicks and fouls, apparently. 12 fouls. They are going crazy. Here's Everton on the throw-in. Paulinho to Luis Antonio. I don't know how you pronounce that formation, that name. Anyway, here's Smith on the run. Gets dispossessed. Boy, they are swarming defensively. Nice little back pass there. So that guy's name, Jaja. Is it pronounced Jaja? I don't know. Here's Martinez trying to get it forward to Smith again. Vela to Smith. Everton. Martinez. Villalba with the shot. At least he gets it on target somewhat. Antonio has to knock it over the crossbar. Here we are, Vela. Again, we don't have our corners set up in this formation, so we're probably not going to get much out of them at all. 3 minutes of stoppage time. This has not been the exciting game I had kind of hoped it would be. They came in here and really sort of just parked the bus against us. Been trying to attack, but it's been of no good. Everton just sort of boots it downfield. I guess that's what they've been doing all game. It's hard to tell with no highlights. 15 seconds left. This is probably just them stalling out the end of the game. There's Luis Antonio. Leo Cantu. Nice steal there. Tejeda. Caldwell. There's the final whistle. So unfortunately, a bad game. You can hear the crowd in the background. A little frustrated. Some boos. Some boos mixed in with the sort of nondescript cheering. Anyway, this match could have gone either way. I suppose it's no real surprise it ended in a draw. I had expected FLA to beat LAFC, but that's soccer says. Sreko Bejic? Anyway, ESPNFC.com. Draw. Anyway, we were trying a new formation, so I guess that's okay. That's why we play friendlies. Oh, Martinez seemed to lose confidence. Can the assistant bring it back? No. All right. Let's end the pep talk. I guess we can look at one final analysis here. Heat map-wise, we got a little better. You know, we got a little bit more down the middle. The right-hand wing is still our dominant wing. Villalba, you know, taking care of business out there. They had a lot of possession, man. Look at their heat map. Number 9 here was all over us. And then both their wings as well. I think they just sort of tried to hold the ball at midfield and run out the clock. Anything else we can look at? Review. No. Wait. Okay, analysis. Match stats. That's the one. That's the one. So our final ratings over here on the left-hand side. Alan Martinez. Pretty good. 7.9 rating, man of the match. Rookie is playing hard, so we got to get everybody else to match our number 1 draft pick's intensity there. Watts, our newly crowned captain, also played well. Delgado played well, got a yellow card. Yeah, it was really our big men, our front 4 that let us down. So we got to work on those boys, get them on side, get them playing well. All right, so let's leave the match. We got a friendly versus Edmonton coming up next, and then we start our Major League Soccer campaign against Philadelphia away on the road. So we'll start out, we'll show you that game, we'll look at our registration, we'll look at maybe we pick up another player in the March waiver draft. But other than that, I don't expect many other players to be added to the squad, but we'll look at all that in the next episode. So there you go. We had kind of another long episode. I keep these episodes at 40 minutes. Seems to be where we're at. I'm going to try to get those down to 20, but I don't know. Anyway, stop tapping on the microphone. That's it. We're going to end it right there. We'll see you next time for the MLS. The beginning of the MLS season. I've said that before. I'm going to end the video and stop talking now. Bye.